Hello, people in Manatee County. I am going to talk about soft skills. Um, while academia has been teaching hard skills, soft skills has been recognized as some academic skills. More academic institutions started to think soft skills as some educational subject to study and learn. Soft skills has been required at work and educational environment as well as hard skills. There are tendencies of career development when some entrepreneurs have more soft skills or hard skills. According to Sophia Asonito at Business Administration Department, University of West Attica, Athens, Greece. She claims that there are pressure to establish the policy of introducing skills and competencies in Greek higher education accounting studies. Soft skills may improve considerably accountants' career prospects whether they work in industry or auditing. And in this study, they agree that the lack of higher education institutions' effective partnership with external organizations are the highest barrier to skills development, while the apparent pressure comes from the obligation to comply with the European Union recommendation and the Bologna Agreement. And the study revealed the challenges related to the views about marketizations of higher education and the superficial compliance with the policy enforced by supranational organizations. And therefore, studying soft skills at higher education obligated at many academic environment. And today I'm going to talk about empathy to start. A lack of empathy in leadership can have a serious negative impact on morale and engagement, but when so much emphasis is placed on leaders having to deliver results and getting things done efficiently, how does empathy fit into this frame of thinking? Also, can empathy be learned and developed over time, or is it a fixed commodity? According to CIPD, there's an article of compassion. The role of compassion in the workplace. Organizational compassion exists when members of a system collectively notice, feel, and respond to pain experienced by members of that system. Kenov et al. 2004, page 810. The case for compassion in the workplace and throughout society as a whole has grown significantly in recent times. The coronavirus outbreak has demanded we display greater kindness and empathy towards colleagues, whether on the front line or working from home. A compassionate approach is vital to remain connected, mentally healthy, and productive while we battle through the challenges we face at work and beyond. Compassion is also critical in our response to tackling racism in the workplace. Creating inclusive organizational culture involves connecting with the people on a deeper level, listening to and understanding what it means to experience inequality and tackling action in response. Compassion is the foundation for humanistic approach in business correctly, placing people front and center. It involves responding to another's suffering through positive action and requires interpersonal skills and individualized approach. Compassion and compassionate leadership have many benefits for individuals and organizations. Yet the conversation surrounding workplace compassion is still in its infancy, at a time when it has never been more vital. Compassion in the context of the workplace. Compassion is defined as an empathetic emotional response to another person's pain or suffering that moves people to act in a way that will either ease the person's condition or make it more bearable. Lilius et al. 2003, page 4. Academic literature suggests that compassion within the context of the workplace is relational and process-oriented. A review of compassion at work noted 6 key organizational aspects that are relevant to compassion, according to Dutton, Walkman and Harding, 2014. So the 6 values are shared values, a set of values that an organization and its people perceive to be important, shared beliefs, actual organizational beliefs held by employees, norms, the normative organizational behaviors, and that shape how employees act and respond to one another, organizational practices which support and shape compassion in the workplace, structure and quality of relationship, the quality of human connections between employees, either direct or across the organizational network, leaders' behaviors, the importance of leaders' actions, specifically the signaling and the modeling of appropriate behaviors and response to employees' suffering. Compassion plays a role at different levels within an organization. At an organizational level, it requires members of the system to embed compassionate process to alleviate the suffering and the stress experienced by individuals within that system. This is not restricted to employees alone and includes others such as customers and clients. Leaders and managers must manage and lead with compassion at an individual level. Each member of the organization must take responsibility to act with empathy and demonstrate support for their colleagues. Outcome for compassion. Negative interaction and the work environment often result in toxic and bullying workplace cultures. These have adverse outcome for the organization and the individual. Positive interpersonal behaviors that take a compassionate approach can minimize negative consequences associated with the damaging work environment. Compassionate workplaces have been positively linked to personal and work-related outcomes, including positive emotions at an individual, team, and organizational level, a decrease in job-related stress, and increased effective organizational commitment. Positive emotions towards organization linking to organizational behaviors such as turnover intentions, increased psychological well-being outside of a workplace setting, significant moderate effects for compassionate intervention, and a decreased depression, anxiety, and psychological distress. The positive behaviors and outcomes of compassion support both the business and the moral arguments, as well as provide long-term benefits that result from having a compassion-based culture at work. Self-compassion. Christine Neff's work on self-compassion encompasses the idea of directing compassion and kindness towards yourself. According to Neff, this is described as an inward reflection of care and support support towards oneself, particularly at a difficult time. Self-compassion has been found to correlate with well-being and positive psychological health, for example, increased happiness and decreased self-criticism. It has also been linked to improved sleep and resilience. Using evidence-based intervention to increase compassion in the workplace. Previous research has suggested that compassion is a skill that can be developed and learned through effective intervention and training. According to a review by Kirby, there are 6 compassion-based interventions with a strong empirical evidence on a range of outcomes: compassion-focused therapy, mindful self-compassion, compassion cultivate training, cognitively based compassion training, cultivating emotional balance, compassion and loving kindness meditation. Compassionate leadership and why it matters. Organizational culture and norms are built by the people working within them, and it's our duty as employers, leaders, and individuals to bring compassion into the workplace. Good work is built on organizational system where employees feel supported and valued. In an ideal world, employees should feel comfortable to share their voice on workplace ideas and issues and able to build strong, trusting relationships with colleagues. However, the reality is that compassionate leadership is still some way off. Building compassionate leadership developed from a review of evidence and a survey from over 500 employees and managers. Rolfe Park's Compassion at Work Index provides a model which captures 5 key attributes required for compassion in the workplace: being alive to the suffering of others, being non-judgmental, tolerating personal distress, being empathetic, taking appropriate action. Building upon this, being a compassionate leader means encouraging and influencing care and compassion throughout the wider business. This needs to start with the overriding culture. Compassionate behavior must be recognized as the norm and not just not nice to have. The Compassion at Work Index also includes reflective questions for leaders to identify actions and activities which create compassionate workplace. You can complete the index to gather an indication of your personal level of compassion at work measured across the 5 attributes mentioned above. Given the turbulent times, there has never been a better moment to consider compassion within your business. How compassionate do you think your organization is? Do your people, team, and leaders demonstrate compassionate behaviors at work? Do you as an individual offer compassion to your colleagues and to yourself? Remember, compassion is a skill that can be developed. We can all be kinder, more considerate, and supportive.